Welcome to the show, James John. James, how are you today?
I am doing amazing. Ben, how are you doing?
I'm doing as amazing as well. Super excited to talk to you today. We're going to be covering everything, specifically your story, how you ended up with a Lamborghini, and why it's so important for you to help other people find their joy and their happiness.
First of all, thank you for having me on. I'm telling you, I just awesome, awesome all day long. So I would love to share with everybody, I guess, my story. If you know how I got into a Lamborghini and I just spread love and hugs and all good high vibes. Is I guess that back in the day, I'm gonna even I want to tell your audience even something. I'm going to go even back further than I expected because I want to
Uh,
go through their age as well.
yeah,
So, growing up, you know, sometimes is not the easiest, right? And especially you're 14,
yeah,
right? And I have to be honest with you, at 14 and 15 years old were my hardest times in my life. They were very challenging times. I just didn't feel loved. Even though I knew my parents, they said they loved me and they hugged me, but I just think it was, the self reflection on myself, on how I
yeah,
felt about myself. So I always put myself down because I definitely was not the smartest student. I was like getting straight D's straight through school because my parents just didn't have the time to help me, and the teachers
mhm,
really didn't care, to be honest with you. And I just kind of got
yeah,
by with my smile and hustling a lot, but that's about it.
yeah,
But yeah, I went through some serious hard times at that age, and but I just kept doing something that always try to keep me positive. I always try to
yeah,
look for something that always made me not get into trouble. Once I let's say grew up and became an adult, I went through really hard times. Now there was a part where I went through depression, and it was not a fun place to be in, but I
mhm,
was able to come out of it. And from what I came out of past during depression was just pure love, pure light. I saw
right,
everything. So if people are going through a hard time, just know that there is light on the other side. And once you get through there, it's like almost going on like a water ride. You go on one of these water rides that are in a tunnel and you go through this like darkness for a while. And it's a wild ride and it's crazy. But just know at the end, you're going to see light at the end of that tunnel and you're going to come flying
yeah,
through right into the pool. And so that is just part of life. And what I started to do was I wrote a children's book called How to Love Myself and Others. And I started to going into schools and reading to thousands of kids everywhere from like in the States to the Bahamas and Canada,
wow,
and just to show kids how to truly love themselves. Because listen, we grow up with anxiety and that we're not good enough and our
yeah,
parents don't listen to us and they don't see us, and our parents say, hey, I love you. We hear those words, but we don't feel it for ourselves. We don't feel that love for ourselves even though it's said to us. So it's growing up not feeling that insecure all the time. We want to feel secure.
yeah,
So I wanted to start helping children. While helping children, I started helping adults with depression, mental illness, because I started to understand how to come out of it. And so I would
yeah,
again go all these different spiritual expos and talk and teach and do whatever I can. And I would always be selling shirts or my book or whatever. And I would never be behind the table. I wasn't one to
yeah.
stand behind the table and
Wait for
take
things to
out
come
my
in.
fancy pen and yeah, sign books. That was not me. I was on the other side of the table, signing a book or whatever, but then giving everybody online a hug. And that hug could
Mm,
last from 10 seconds to 2 minutes. And it was mostly these adults that just, some of them cried, some of them laughed, some of them giggled. And it was just to let other adults or people know that, listen, there's a stranger here who loves you.
yeah,
You don't have to be family or a close friend. I love people all around the world,
mhm,
and to hold them and hug them, because sometimes people at home don't get hugged,
Yep.
or some people don't hear I love you. And I will tell everybody I love you. I love you, Ben. I love everybody that I'll ever meet in my life because we are all connected. So now we're getting to the Lamborghini. Don't worry. So now, since actually my last show was February 2020, actually in your home state there in LA, and it's called the Conscious Expo. And I was there, and as soon as I flew back, everything was shut down. So, a year and a half goes by. I can't go and speak. I can't go and share
Right.
hugs. And so everybody has a breaking point. I'm sure a lot of people out there, their parents all have probably seen them cry or get upset, or some people have lost their jobs. And, so we see a lot what's going on in the world, but we all have to level up a little bit, stand up and show other people it's okay. We're here. We can hold hands,
Yep.
move through this together. So I guess my breaking point, if you want to call that, I had a breaking point. I just saw too many of my friends' stores being shut down, hair salons, nail
Yeah.
salons, restaurants, gyms. And I was like, you know what? I have to do something, even though I am not able to travel or haven't go to any expos. So I picked up my phone like right then and there, and I just filmed myself. And I said, listen, I'm going to start a YouTube um, channel called Free Hugs Lambo. And if I get 111 subscribers, which I know, Ben, is not many, my daughter tells me all the time, she goes, that's not that many subscribers. You probably just wanted the Lamborghini. And I'm like, well, yeah, I did want the Lamborghini, but still, I'm here to help people, period. So I videotaped that, and you can even see it's so poorly done because it was in like 720 psi, right? Like it's all pixeled and everything, but I didn't care. I just had
Right.
to vent,
Get
and
it
I
out
had
there.
to get this out there. And I said, if I get at 111 subscribers, I'm gonna take you on my phone, video it, and I'm gonna go and pick a car that day, um, and then I'm going to go get it wrapped with the words Free Hugs Lambo on it. And I'm going to show up at as many film festivals, car shows, spiritual shows, charity events, any kind of an event anywhere to spread some good positive vibes, some joy, to put a smile on somebody's face. And that's what I do. Meanwhile, just so everybody knows, what is a wrap is basically like a massive sticker that
Yep.
covers your entire car. So my car is actually white, but if you look at it,
Hmm.
is actually blue, with all different colors. And so if you want to see the picture, just go to Free Hugs
Yep. Free
Lambo
hugs, Lambo.
on YouTube and you'll see it. And yeah, and what we do is I get people, because listen, life is all about living my joy, right? And I'm like, what? How can I live
Right.
my joy every day? And I'm like, well, I got a Lamborghini, I have a massive heart actually on the front of the hood if you ever
Yeah.
see it, and it's got wrapped with even Ferdinand the Bull. If people know Ferdinand the Bull, it's all about love and community. And so I let my friends drive my car. I let random people who I never met drive my car, because imagine being you, Ben. I mean, as soon as you get your driver's license, trust me, you're in this car and you're driving in 2 seconds, because that's the joy. That's the
Yep.
experience I want other people to have. I mean, imagine me with this car and not being able to share it. I'd be so bored and so lonely, and the car would probably just sit in the garage,
Yeah.
But because I have friends and family or people who I love to meet and I haven't even met, I want them to be in the car, drive it, and we joke around, we make a lot of laughs and jokes, we eat crazy food sometimes. But Ben, you inspired me to start eating some healthy food. So you're gonna see me eat
Yep.
some healthy food in that car, and I'm gonna dedicate that healthy food to you because I don't know. Every time I talked about your chips that you guys have, that I'm like, I'm gonna eat a little bit healthier, because the last video
Yep.
I did, I was smashing an apple fritter in my mouth in one shot. So, I mean, but you know what? Everything in balance. That's number
Yeah.
one in
Of
life.
course.
Okay. But to live your joy, have fun. We put on wigs, but there's a lot of positive messages that I try to sneak. Now, it's not sneaking. I don't want to say that because I actually just put in there like a 1 minute liner or whatever of something positive to
Right.
encourage people to have that faith, and to move forward. So, and that's what I've been doing. Tomorrow, I'll be at a charity for a hospital here called Sick Kids. It's a massive hospital, to fundraise for them. So it's like a car wash, but I
Yeah.
will be there helping raise money and doing whatever I can. And so that's what I'm doing with my joy and my positivity because, like you said, sometimes when we're not able to go to a conference and speak, we have to find other avenues, right? Like if a water filled up in a canyon and there's
No
only
doubt.
one area of a crack, is water's going through that creek and all of a sudden it's cemented up or filled with dirt or rock, and it's like, well, trust me, it's going to fill up until it finds another
Yeah.
canal or another crack. And that's just what we're doing in life. And we shouldn't stop. We should just keep going. But my number one thing is, I think I've improved my overall being, my health, my mental state of health, my physical state of health, is by living my joy every day. Because when you're living that
Yeah.
joy, man, I tell you, man, I feel like a kid. I'm a 48-year-old guy, driving around in a Lamborghini, YouTube and eating donuts and buffalo wings while laughing, wearing wigs, and then afterwards I'm in my backyard on a swing eating ice cream. And this is no
That's the
lie.
life.
This is
Yeah.
what I do. So that's how I got into Lamborghinis. If you can't do things for yourself, you're not going to understand or even be there for others at some point, because you will break down. This will happen to you. So it's good to charge yourself, treat yourself good in every which way, from eating right, exercising right, taking time for yourself. And
Right.
when I say take time for yourself, it's not being, let's say, selfish. When it's like, well, why aren't you not spending time? I need time for myself.
Yeah.
And that is so important. People are always missing the point on that. So that's what I decided to do. From that point on, I had all this wisdom and I just started going out, counseling people one on one. I had coaching lessons, and I've had retreats in Sedona, Arizona. I would go and do whatever I can to help people. And that's how it started.
I was on a plane recently back from Canada, and they always say
Yes.
you got to put your mask on before you put your someone else's mask on, right? You can't. Of course, it's great to help people, but you cannot, you know, provide people the best help unless you yourself are in a positive place in your life, right? And so always put
Correct.
that mask on before you help someone else. Because if you help someone else and then something happens, right, you and them are both, you know, not
Correct.
not good at that point. Um, and that reminded me of um, your next part of your life, which is you created your, I don't know, motivational speaker, how you would
Hmm.
influencer, positive influencer, I guess, and you went out and did these events to
Hmm.
kids. Why did you do them to youth specifically? Why not, parents? Why not regular adults?
Yes. Well, all right. Well, there's a little bit of story. I'm going to try to go really fast through this story because or the reason why, children, people don't understand that children are actually our teachers. And every parent my age or whatever, they're all going to disagree. No, 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 you're wrong. We're the ones, we're this and we're that. And I say, listen, adults are here to house you, feed you, clothe you, and love you and all these things. But the parents have lost their ways. They have been rewired by media. They have been rewired by culture and religions that are not proper in certain aspects. So we miss the point. We miss the target. Almost another word of saying we sinned. Like we don't get it. We're not conscious anymore. That's why we're filling all these expos up with self help, because we have lost our way. And what other way that you could ever learn is, one, from nature, two is from your children. I learn more from my children than I will at any expo, any book, any
Yeah.
CD. In fact, I've been to so many expos. There's been one expo I went to. It was actually at a kids yoga expo in Washington, and that was the greatest expo I ever went to. It was the only kid expo I ever went to, and that's where I learned. Me, the one who helps other people, I learned through there, which is amazing. So, what happened with me one day was, I have a situation with my back, and it would always go out on me. I finally healed my back. That's a whole nother podcast. But anyway, I healed my back. But when I couldn't, my back would just go out on me. I felt like I got electrocuted, and I would fall down on the ground. And I mean, I cannot get up. There's no way I'm getting up. So yes, when I mean I can't get up, I'm going to clarify this. I You'd almost have to put a diaper on me because I can't move.
Yeah.
That's how severe it is. And so my wife understands this, and I said, "Honey, can you please go get me my Mac computer? I'm going to be on the ground for a few hours." Well, guess what? It was 4 days I was on the
Wow.
floor. I'm not going to explain to people how I went to the bathroom. I'm not going to explain to people anything. How I can't explain that my wife had to basically bring the food to me or any kind of a liquid drink, and I had to be on the floor and do that. I wore the same clothes for 4 days. I could not move. But I'll tell you what happened in those 4 days. I wrote a single book every single day. And that's one of the books
Wow.
right here is How to Love Myself and Others. And so I wrote the book, and then the next day I wrote another book. And after I was all done, believe this or not, I actually closed my Mac. And as soon as I heard my Mac click, my back clicked. And this is no lie. I couldn't even make this up. And and I went, wait a minute, I actually got up. Like there was no pain, there was nothing. You want to call it a miracle, you want to call it whatever, but these things happen to me in my world, and I'm sure it happens to other people in their world where things just happen. Where I could get up and actually do a cartwheel, but my wife's like, "No, you're going upstairs and you're going
Yep.
to take a shower because you're not smelling too good these past 4 days." I'll be honest with you. So, so sometimes life gives you these curves that things have to happen. It may look like a negative thing that happened to me before books were born out of it. And because of one of those 4 books, I was able to go, well, you know what? I got to reach the children. Yes, we could fill expos with thousands of people that are adults for self-help. And we're going to continue doing this to help them. But we need to get to the children first.
Yep.
So if we get to the children now, when they hit that 40, 50-year-old age, hopefully there is no more expos.
Yeah.
Hopefully there is no more that much self-help, because the kids today will understand what it is to be comfortable in their body, how to love themselves extremely, how to forgive people and forgive themselves, how to be grateful for things that they have in their world. So that's why I try to concentrate on children, because um, they're not wired yet by the wrong signals out there, or the media, the news that are giving out negative, you know,
Yep.
words or sayings or stories. So I would love to. I'm telling you, me talking to children, thousands at a time, going to schools and just high fiving, reading, making fun, doing uh, whatever on stage, just having fun with kids. And these kids are superstars. I mean, they are our future. And we have to start listening to the kids. So if kids out there have a voice,
Yeah.
let's level up, get out there, make a change. Because listen, you may not change the world, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to do something big that's going to actually even make somebody else then go and change the world. So every action you do, other people see what you do, and they may come up with an idea and change the world massively. So it doesn't maybe have to be you or me who changes the world completely, but by our actions, our positive actions, our gratitude to always help one another here on earth and do something big, maybe might spark an idea for somebody else to do something even big. And that's how we change the world. That's how I want to change the world.
I absolutely love that. What you just said. You may not change the world yourself, but
Hmm.
you can impact one or maybe more than that people who will take something that you did, something you said, something that you that you did, and they'll take that. That'll inspire them to change the world. And the best part about it is that you can change the world, but you can also impact unlimited
Yes,
people, and unlimited amount of people can change the world based off of one of your actions. I absolutely love that quote.
absolutely.
Now, this will about end this part of the second part of your life, and we'll hop into the third part, and that is the Lamborghini part. All right, so you get the Lamborghini, you have it all wrapped. You got that giant heart, which you can all check out. Free Hugs Lambo. You got that giant heart in
Yeah.
the front. You got Free Hugs Lambo all over the windshield. And you're
Yeah.
driving around town with this positive, what's it called, hugger mobile, and
Yeah. The hugger ship. It's
the
called the
hugger
hugger
ship,
ship. Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
What was the number one goal for this hugger hugger ship, as specific as possible?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think it's just changing people's perspective that the world that we live in is not so dark and not so negative all the time. I
Right.
would love just to put a smile on someone's face. That is my goal. I don't have to go and do this, this, and this, and this. Sometimes the expectations of oneself is, oh, I want to do this. And you know what? It will get there. As long as I'm living my joy and I get to put a smile on one person's face, that's incredible. I was at the gas station today, right? I drive this thing every day, and I'm at the gas station, and would you not believe a landscaping truck pulls up with three guys, and before they even came to a complete stop, they shout out the window, "Hey, can we have a hug?" And they come out, they videotape, that we do a hug in front of the car right at the gas station. And I mean, how much fun is that, right? It's not
Yeah.
usual you would see guys my age
Yeah.
coming out yelling, "Hey, can I have a free hug?" It's just I go,
Yeah.
"What is this?" And I just absolutely love it. And I could guarantee if one of those three guys were depressed today or having a bad day, I know we could turn that negative into a
Right.
positive. Somewhere I made somebody smile. If I don't even have contact with anybody and they're at the light and they look over and go, "Oh my gosh, somebody actually has Free Hugs Lambo on a wrapped all over the car." Like, how does that
Yeah.
not make you smile? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, my goal is to just change somebody's mind from a negative to a positive, and that's all I really want. That I am over the moon. Anything above that is just icing on the cake. And trust me, there's tons of laughter, tons of hugs that go along with our videos, or
Right.
people that I just meet at car rallies or wherever I go. um, and people start reaching out. I have somebody who's reaching out saying, "Hey, can I hire you for an event to come here, and we're going to raffle off going for a ride with you and this and that?" I'm like, 100%, but it's not going to cost you
Yeah.
anything. I do this for
Right.
free. This is my time. And I do want to say one thing to your listeners out there, Ben, is that I know we talked about this in the car a little bit, is that for me, this is how I look at the earth. That if there's, let's just say, 8 billion people, there's 8 billion earths vibrating over each other, and they're basically
Right.
vibrating at different frequencies. So, how another vision you could look at that is like if I got into a space shuttle and, I go up to another earth that looks identical to this earth, and I went up on that earth and I was the first one there, what would that earth feel like? What would the climate be, or what would the pollution be? And I'm just going, well, I want clean air. I want clean grounds. And I want to say hi to everybody I ever meet. I want to hug everybody I ever meet. And I want to help my neighbors, and I want to put a smile on their face, and I want to do good things. I want to treat people good. I want to love myself. I want to love others. That's the earth I want to create. And that's the earth I create here collectively with all of you. So everybody's doing their own thing, like ants, right? They're all like, if you picture ants in an ant farm, they're all doing their own thing. But
Yeah.
if I was one of those ants, I'm living my own world. I'm living the dream. I'm doing what I want on my own world. I just happen to collectively run into people like yourself and other people, and I live my joy. I don't respond in a negative way if I see something bad or negative or this and that, because that's what changes your thought and switches you and puts you in the other direction. I just know whatever's there, it's happening. I just keep positive. I move forward. I help out the best I know how. And so I'm actually living, I feel, Ben, on my own earth.
Yeah.
And I get to enjoy it with you and do my own thing with whatever I do. And I know in Ben's earth, I get to hang out with Ben on his earth, and I know Ben is doing amazing, amazing things on his earth, doing so many good things at such an early age. I wish I did things. Where would I be if I did things at your age? Just imagine where you're
Right.
going to be at my age. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of it. So, and what about your viewers out there? What about their earth? What are they doing in their on their earth that you and I, Ben, are collectively working with? What are they doing to change the world, to leave it a better place, not only years from now, not only months from now, weeks from now, not even hours from now, not even minutes from now? What are they doing seconds from now to live a better life for everybody else and ourselves? So, that I think is an important question. What are they doing right now to change their lives, to spin it off, to be positive and be motivated? Because it's only going to start in the now. It will never
Right.
start here, there, there. It happens right when you bang, go, you know? That's how I change, at least. So,
Yeah, that's super. And I was probably one of my favorite parts about our talk in the car. By the way, for those of you, this might be a little out of context for some of you. Basically, when I was in Toronto with James a couple weeks back, he brought his Lamborghini around and we took a drive around. We did a nice interview in the car. We were in downtown, so a lot of people, were looking at the car, getting positivity, getting inspired. I touched on that in 1 second, but just based off what you just said, um, what's your number one tip that you would say for kids about finding their own earth, finding their joy?
yeah, I would say, you guys are going to laugh. You're like, but I'm already 14. I'm already 13, 15, whatever age. Do what you love, period. I don't care what your friends think, because that's what stops us from living our joy most of the time. Do you
Yeah.
think I care if I'm eating a strawberry ice cream on the back of my swing in the back of my yard what my neighbors think? Absolutely not, because I know my neighbors crack up every time they see me, and I know I put a smile on their face, I put a giggle in their belly, and they just
Yeah.
want to come over and hang out with me now, and they all want to go on the swing, which is so much fun. So if I didn't live my joy and start doing something that I thought, which actually goes back to us being a kid again, and trust me, 14 years old, you're already, being a kid is being that 5-year old, that 6-year old. I know there's something in you, Ben, that you go, yeah, I still want to do that. For me, it was playing with matchbox cars, in the dirt, which I am going to do. And I can't wait to see what my neighbor's going to say when they see me doing this. But I don't care, because it brings up the
Right.
vibration. That's the frequency we want to live in. Because remember when we were kids, there is carefree, fun, nothing to worry about. Life is taken care
Right.
of. And if I could bring myself back to that vibration, that's the vibration I live in. Everything works out for me. So for all the listeners out there, I would definitely say go back to stuff that you thought were fun at whatever age you thought was fun. If it was riding a bicycle, because maybe you're too old now to ride a bicycle, I don't know. Or if it's, I don't know what people did. Maybe it's old DVDs that you used to watch, or play with something that was just make you laugh, eat that food, listen to that music. I don't know. It could be the Wiggles for all I know. I have no idea. Okay. But it's just something that makes your tummy feel good without caring what anybody else thinks of you. That
Right.
is the best part. Yeah. So go and do what brings you joy, especially when you're younger. And that's what I do. That's what I do.
Thank you again, James, for coming on the show. This was an amazing episode.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben. Big hugs to you and your audience. I love you all. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.